world is coming undone.
Gareth called me up one day and said, he said he'd given out my phone number to somebody, and I'd actually broken that phone, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't have that number anymore. Who's going to ring me? And he said, Lucasfilm. And I was like, oh my God. So that's how I found out about Rogue. I flew out to the States, was locked in a room, literally locked in a room, where I was given the story brief. What Gareth wanted, because he and Gary at that point, the first writer, they were still working on the screenplay. But based on that breakdown, scene by scene breakdown, Gareth wanted me to cut a 2-hour film based purely on footage from other movies and art concept work. So they'd do 1 painting per scene or 2 paintings per scene, and they would be held. I put those on screen. And then and down here in 1/4 of the frame is where I would put the moving footage, which I'd rip. For instance, the opening scene of the film is Krennic goes down to the planet, and then he walks across the sand, and then he sees the parents, and he has to shoot out. So what I did was I ripped, obviously, shuttle going down to planet. I ripped Return of the Jedi, Vader's shuttle going down. And what you can get from that is that in the screenplay, it says Vader's shuttle flies to planet. That takes 2 seconds to read. When you see those shots, how they work in a Star Wars film, that's 59 seconds of screen time. So that was very helpful for Gary and Gareth to know to not overwrite the dialogue scenes, just because of how long the action takes in a Star Wars film. And then I had the parents trying to bundle the children out of the house from this John Wayne film, The Searchers. And then, and that was intercut with the little girl from Leon going down the tunnel, the professional, trying to get out of the building. And the thing was, I still used the dialogue from those films where I could. So you would listen to the dialogue from one film to get across the plot points that were trying to be made. But the visuals, I would nick from anywhere. That was all done because he wanted to look at that himself. And nobody else was ever supposed to see that cut of the film. And he said, but it's so good. It gets across so much of what I'm trying to tell. I want Gary, the writer, to watch that. I want Greg, the DOP, to watch that, because it's the ultimate mood board of this entire movie.